Hi, I'm Beck and food's my life. In today's video, I'm making a coffee and white chocolate cheesecake and it's coming right up. So I found this recipe in a recipe book and I was really intrigued by the combination of coffee and white chocolate flavour. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get the camera rolling and if it's a success, then I can share it with you all. So the first thing, of course, is the base of the cheesecake. This is a non-baked cheesecake, so this is not going to take very long to make. And the beauty about non-baked cheesecakes is you just pop them in the fridge overnight, they're ready. So here I have prepared a 22 centimeter cheesecake springform tin, and I've lined it with some baking paper. Now in my bowl here, I have some crumbs of plain chocolate biscuits. So I've crumbed them down. I've used my Thermomix. You can use a food processor is fine as well. Or you could use a good old-fashioned version where you put them in a snap lock bag and use your rolling pin just to crush the biscuits. Any way is fine. To this I'm going to add some melted butter, and this is all we need to form our base of our cheesecake. So I'm going to just bring these two together. Now I'm going to tip this into the bottom of my prepared cake tin. Using my fingers, I'm going to firmly press this into the base of my tin. And then once I've finished doing that, I'm going to pop it in the fridge to refrigerate while I'm making the filling. Okay, now to make the cheesecake filling, I'm using my kitchen mixer. Now to the main bowl, I'm going to add some cream cheese, of course. I'm adding some caster sugar and some beautiful vanilla bean paste. Now, of course, you can use vanilla extract if you don't have vanilla bean paste. Vanilla bean paste is just so aesthetic. I love seeing those little vanilla seeds speckled through my cheesecake mixture. It's just beautiful. Okay, now we're going to mix these ingredients together until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so the next step is to melt down some gelatin. So I have here in my little jug some gelatin, quite a bit, about a tablespoon there. To this I'm going to add 1/3 cup of boiling water. Now get a fork ready, because we're going to whisk this together and melt the gelatin powder. So you got to act fairly quick, give it a good old stir until it's nice and clear. Okay, now comes the step where we incorporate the white chocolate. So in my little heat-proof bowl here, I have some white chocolate that I've been melting over a simmering pan of water. Now to the chocolate, I'm going to add my melted gelatin and I'm going to whisk these two together. For the next step, I'm going to pour my white chocolate mixture here into the main mixture, put my beater on and bring it all together. Just pour this in. Use my spatula to make sure I don't waste any of that beautiful white chocolate. And off we go. Alright, so I have a beautiful looking cheesecake mixture here. What we're going to do now is I'm going to put roughly half of this mixture into another clean bowl. So I'm going to pop that in now. Roughly half, doesn't really matter. Then to this I'm going to add some coffee. Now just instant coffee that I have melted down with a little bit of boiling water here. So I'm going to pour that in and give this a good mix. So now I've grabbed that cheesecake base from earlier. That's set really nicely in the fridge, and I'm going to pour the coffee mixture on top of the base. Now I'm back with that original half of my mixture. To this I'm going to fold in gently some whipped thickened cream. Okay, now it's time to top that coffee mixture with that original white chocolate mixture. Pour it on, then use your spatula to gently flatten it across the top. So we've got 2 even layers. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to put this in the fridge to set overnight. Welcome back. So it's a new day. My cheesecake has had plenty of time to set in the fridge overnight, and I'm now ready to serve my dessert. So I've turned it out onto my cake stand here, and now comes the final, most important step. It's a little bit fancy, it's a little bit theatrical, but it's very, very tasty. I'm going to brulee the top of this cheesecake. Now, when I say brulee, you probably think of that iconic dessert, the little baked custard with the crunchy toffee top. Well, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. Now, we're going to do this by spreading an even layer of sugar on top of my cheesecake, and then I'm going to use my kitchen blowtorch to burn the sugar until it becomes toffee. Now, you can use any kind of sugar to do this job, but usually when I'm bruleeing, I like to use Demerara sugar. And I choose Demerara because of its subtle butterscotch flavour that I find works really well with desserts. If you've never done a brulee before, it can seem a little bit daunting, but really it's not that hard. Let me show you. Now, I have gone quite light with my brulee on top because I still want to be able to cut this into nice, neat pieces. If you want to put more sugar on, you will create a thicker, crunchier toffee on top, and that is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Go ahead. But if you do choose to do a thicker brulee, just a little tip, you might want to just crack the top a little bit first before you cut it. Otherwise, it's going to make cutting it into slices a little bit tricky. But if you want to have a go at making my white chocolate and coffee cheesecake with the brulee top, just check out the description box below, and there you'll see a link to my website. From there, you can find the recipe and enjoy this for yourself. Don't forget, if you've liked this video, please give me a big thumbs up, or better still, subscribe to my channel so you always know what I'm up to in the kitchen, and I'll see you next time.